Welcome back to Veterans Forum, a program by veterans, about veterans, for veterans and their families. I'm your co-host, Bob West, with Ray Chattery and Jerry Devlin. Our goal is to provide you and your family with important information about legislation, benefits, and programs of interest to you. Tonight, what we're going to do is discuss what your local service organizations have planned for this coming year. I'll talk about the VFW, Ray will talk about the DAV, and Jerry's going to talk about the Marine Corps League. So let's get started. Ray, what's happening with the DAV?
Well, a lot of things are happening right now. One thing I'd like to report is our new electronic sign that we have out front, thanks to Senator Douglas J.J. Peters, who got us a bond bill. And we have recurring events going on. Right now, we're really pushing our Veterans Service Officer program. And that sign has brought in at least a dozen clients so far. Them seeing that sign and seeing they can come to the DAV, because a lot of people don't know what the DAV stands for, Disabled American Veterans. And Joe Swintek, who's our Chief Service Officer, along with Claudio Poiani and Harold Staten, they meet at the DAV every Monday from 7 to 9. You don't need an appointment. And if you we'll put some of these numbers on the screen for you, so that if you want to meet with them other than on a Monday, if that's not good for you, they will meet you at the DAV. And we're open from noon until 10 o'clock at night. So they meet you at the DAV and discuss your claim, put in a claim, any question you have regarding the VA benefits. So as I say, that's one of our major projects. We have a seafood feast coming up on the 25th of August, which is Friday, from 6 to 9 p.m. It's $45, and it's open to the public. And it's a tremendous event that we have, and it's in conjunction with the Marine Corps League. The chapter DAV chapter home and the Marine Corps League Free State Detachment co-host this, and you get crab legs, crabs, Maryland crabs, shrimp, corn, potato salad, coleslaw, draft beer, soft drinks, water. And as I say, there again, it's a lot of fun and fellowship. So if you're interested in, come on down to the DAV and you can pick up your ticket. As far as membership goes, a lot of people have a misconception of what membership. In the DAV, as long as you were injured while you were on active duty, an injury meaning if you fell and broke your leg, or if you got hurt in a training accident, or even if you were playing softball or football, and as I say, as long as you were injured while you were on active duty, you're eligible for the DAV. And if you had the flu, or if you any hospitalization qualifies you. So there again, anybody that served in the military that has an honorable discharge or a general discharge is eligible. If you have been, and if you have a VA claim, you're automatically eligible also. And one thing about Vietnam veterans, you have to get yourself registered with the VA, because all Vietnam veterans, if you served in country, you're automatically 10%. And then Agent Orange, they've expanded that. And this is what our service officers can go over with you. So like I said, it's we just have a lot going on. And of course, as the program goes on, I'll have more to say. But I'd like to pass this on over to either Bob or Jerry and let them talk about their organizations right now.
One thing about the DAV, which is on Route 197 in Bowie, if you're going north out of town, it's just before you get to Bowie State. Doesn't it open at noon every day, or
yes.
11 o'clock?
Right, we're from noon till 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Okay, every day, noon until 10 or 11 o'clock. So you can stop by, you can talk to the bartender, whoever's there, and they'll be more than happy to take your information to make sure that somebody gets back to you quickly, usually within 24 hours. So Jerry, tell us what's happening with Veterans Court. We can start with there.
Well, the Veterans Court is in action, and it's one of the specialty courts like the drug court and the domestic violence court. and it deals with the special problems that veterans have. And the attempt is to put the veteran in charge with service agencies who can deal with the problems that are fairly unique to veterans. You know, for example, one of the things psychologically, like if you're a career military man, woman, you sort of can't turn yourself in for psychological treatment without risking your career. So a great many things that could have been treated and would have been treated are not. And you know, and many of the things, the post-traumatic stress and Agent Orange and all these things, if you can put the veteran in charge, you can find that you can have a program that is more than just blind incarceration, which is, you know, the traditional function of the courts.
And Prince George's County has an active court process.
And Chief Administrative Judge Sheila Tillison Adams has been one of the first. There always has been opposition from the judicial branch who feel that there are too many of these specialty courts. And Judge Tillison Adams, she's rejected this argument and made it a real thing. I think it would be better if it were in the district court than the circuit court. In the circuit court, you can't really have a veterans court for rape and murder, you know, but you can for the batteries and the domestic problems and those things, which are better handled in the district court, but that's above my pay grade.
Well, at least it got started.
Oh, yeah, it's functioning, yeah.
And things can change.
Oh, sure.
They can move from one court to the other.
Sure.
You were recently at a convention not long ago. Was that the DAV? Or
That was the DAV convention.
Yeah.
Marine Corps League's coming up.
Okay. And are you going to the convention again, Jerry? For the Marine Corps League?
I'm going. The national convention is in Overland Park, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City, and I've been to the last almost 20 of them now. Mm-hmm. And I hope it'll be about 2 years ago. It was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and the coolest afternoon was 109 degrees. And let's pray for his recovery, a speedy recovery. Senator McCain was the one of the featured speakers, of course, is a senator from Arizona and a great war hero and a great American, and a very, very easy person to talk to. He warmed up the Marine Corps League convention by telling people that he, of course, was a graduate of the Naval Academy, and you had a choice between going in the Marine Corps or the Navy. He said, I chose the Navy because my parents were married. So he has that kind of relationship with the Marines, the way Mayor Robinson does in Bowie at the Marine Corps League when we had a Veteran of the Year thing, and Fred was the MC. The Marine Corps League wear red blazers, and he said, if you have any problems parking your car, the people with the red blazers will handle it. And
Are there any issues coming up for the National Convention at the Marine Corps League that would be?
Well, we've come through a very difficult financial period, and we seem to have gotten solved, you know. And we'll have a new commandant this year. Normally in the Marine Corps League, you have 2 one-year terms, and Wendell Webb is probably going to be the new commandant, who is an incredibly bright person. I serve on the I'm national parliamentarian, which is really one of the worst jobs you can have because I have to sit up behind the commandant in cases of parliamentary ruling and listen to some very long-winded people out there when the people I'd rather be with are at the bar, you know. But and then I'm a vice president of the Marine Corps League Foundation, and we raise money and distribute it to Marines and Marine veterans and their families who have some kind of special problem. And our chairman is a very interesting guy. He's a full-blooded Cherokee Indian. Last year he gave his report in Cherokee, and then for you white eyes, he said, now I'll translate. And he said, we had the midwinter meeting, it was in Virginia, and Greg said, he pointed out that the National Convention was in Tulsa. He said, it'll be the first time that I've not been a minority group member, and I've noticed there's some very interesting scalps out here. But he's a very funny and very hardworking and very dedicated person.
Was he related to any of the what were they, Navajo talkers or any?
No, he's a Cherokee from North Carolina.
Oh, so he wasn't related.
They were Apache, and they're from Arizona. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He was in New York. He said, and he went to a hotel, and they said, "Do you have a reservation?" He said, "Of course, the Cherokee Nation in North Carolina." But it's some very, very intelligent people on it. They, you know, I'm vice president, as you and I know. Being vice something is a pretty good job to have. And
Yeah, you can't be responsible.
Of course, we have the local Free State detachment. Jerry.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Free State Detachment, we meet the second Wednesday of the month. And the Marine Corps League has service officers and does wonderful thing then, but perhaps the best thing the Marine Corps has going for it is it's an organization of people who share a very important and common bond. General Regner last summer, he's a regular at the Marine Corps League, he's a major general. And he said, one of the things the Marine Corps League, they keep trying to tell you that we're serious. And he said, it's the fun part of being with other Marines that makes the Marine Corps League what it is. And it's, you know, you always come home from the conventions feeling good about it. It's a very exclusive club, and I'm glad to be a member.
well, that's one of the things about being a veteran.
Yeah,
When you get with other veterans, you share a bond that
that's right.
others who haven't had the experience even understand. So,
But even the Marine Corps is so small that you really have common experiences. You know, the Marine Corps operates under the theory that everybody is an infantryman, you know, so you have the same, everyone went through the same training, and even everybody in the Marine Corps, you know, has to qualify every year with a rifle, including the Commandant.
so Ray, you were at the National Convention for the DAV.
No, the DAV National Convention is coming up in the end of this month.
You were at the state convention.
State Convention, DAV, yes.
Okay. Are there some issues coming up with the DAV that are going to have an impact to our local chapter?
Not that I know of this year.
No.
Now, you said that, if I recall, that some of our local DAV members are moving up into chairs.
Yes, right. Joe Swintek is, who's our chief service officer. He's the first junior vice commander for the DAV state, and after this year, being 3 years, he'll be the state commander. And then also Vicki Michelangelo, oh no, I'm sorry. She's our unit commander, but Diane Garfolo, who's the local adjutant, she's the junior vice commander for the DAV auxiliary state, and in 3 years she'll be the state commander if all goes well. So Bowie will have both state commanders for the auxiliary and the DAV at the same time. That'll be 1919, 20, I think it is, 17, 18, yeah, 19, 20 years. So
Well, we've had
really
three,
good.
in 90 years, we've had 3 people from Maryland have been National Marine of the Year. And all 3 of them belong to Free State Detachment in
Right.
Bowie.
Well, that just shows you the volunteer spirit and those who want to be active in the community that belong to the DAV.
Right.
Well, we've had a great tradition of people who've been state commanders from Bowie in all of the organizations. I mean, J.D. Larson very recently in the American Legion. And the AMVETS, wouldn't we have, do we have the state command?
Andy,
Andy Martell.
Martell.
Right? Yeah. And then you were state commander, Marine Corps League and DAV, and so was I.
Yeah, both of
So-
us were state commanders
Right.
in the Marine Corps League and the DAV. The Marine Corps League and the DAV, they change hats. They meet on successive nights. Tuesday you wear your DAV cover, and then Wednesday the same people are there with this cover.
Marine Corps League cover.
well, the VFW meets the first Thursday of the month at 7:30 at the DAV Hall on Route 197. I'm currently the post commander, and we have an active organization. We currently have 3 active duty women who are part of our organization. So we encourage, obviously, more members to come out. With this being the new year, we have our programs that are coming up for the community, which include the Patriot Pin program, which is an essay contest for children in grades 6 through 8. You could be in public school, private school, home school, doesn't make any difference. Voice of Democracy is for 9th through 12th graders. Again, it's an essay contest. Not only is it written, but it is also spoken on a disc. Again, you can find the topics at the vfw.org and submit the essays by the 31st of October to our local post. We also have programs for Teacher of the Year, Fireman of the Year, EMT of the Year, and Policeman of the Year. And we also honor all of these first responders at our post. Our membership is made up of members who are World War II through current, and we'd like to see more people, like everybody would, at our meetings. We recently had a booth at Bowie Fest, in which case we did speak to 12 veterans with the possibility that we might enlarge our membership, 2 of which have already transferred their membership to our post after coming over to one of our meetings. So we certainly would look forward to anyone stopping in at the DAV to find out more that we have available. Now, one of the other things that has come up has been our ability to raise additional funds simply through the lottery program that the state has allowed us to have. And so that's been part of the expansion within the DAV itself.
And the bar is a very nice place to be. It's the rules are very strict. It's not just a lot of noisy drunks. It's a group of neighborhood-type people who patronize it. No bad words. No. It's just a nice group of people. It's the modern version of the old-fashioned neighborhood bar where people came in just to chat with other people. And of course, as Bob just said, we have a kind of a slot machine, and we have other things. Someone put a sign up, DAV Live.
And one thing that we recently went through a lot of paperwork, we now have Keno, and also you can do the 3-digit and 4-digit numbers. One thing about membership, it's no more, even in the VFW, there's no more ladies auxiliary. It is the DAV and the VFW auxiliary. Jerry and I are both members of the auxiliary, and a lot of the husbands whose wives are military, they can become auxiliary members. And we welcome any veteran to come in, and they can just sign the guest book, come on in, have a beer and such, as long as you're a veteran. We're not a public club or a private club, but it is a veterans club. And now a DAV member that isn't a member of Chapter 7, they are a guest. They have to sign the guest book also.
Yeah, very strict on that rule.
We're very strict on that because it's the Prince George's County Liquor Board controls that. But like I said, come on down. We have 5 lottery slot machines, and we have the Keno now. We do have shuffleboard. We have a pool table, and they say the drinks are very reasonable. And like I say, you come on in.
And we
no
have
one
happy
hassles
hour
you.
regularly too.
Mm-hmm. And as I say, it's just a very nice atmosphere.
Now, there's also a room to rent if you're interested
Right.
in having a function. And my understanding in talking to Denny, who is the manager, that the sign also has helped out as far as the room rentals are concerned.
Right. If unfortunately we don't have a kitchen, but we do have a microwave. So most of the functions that we have are catered. Like when our seafood feast, Shoreline Seafood does all the cooking out back. And of course the potato salad and stuff we buy and bring in. And the soft drinks and we figure out. But as I say, there again, the rent room is available, like from noon until, there again, if we have a private party at night, with special exception, we can go to 2 o'clock in the morning. And say it's birthday parties, weddings, receptions.
And it holds a comfortable 100 people.
Yeah, and as I say, it will hold 100 people, for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are a veteran, you're watching this, bring your spouse down and come down and check out the DAV, and you'll find really nice people sitting at the bar. And it's we don't permit no drunks, no bad language, nothing offensive, no politics. You're just meeting a lot of very nice people from the Bowie area.
One thing I would like to say is that our chapter has 1,100 members, and 350 of our members live in Bowie. And I would say that at least 200 and some have never been at the DAV. So if you're a member of the Chapter 7 Bowie and watching this program, come on down.
And we've updated the plant, and it's a nice place now. The bar is nice, the chairs are nice. The back room is the meeting room is nice, and the shuffleboard. We have a shuffleboard league,
And one thing I like to say is that when you come up the hill at the DAV, on the right-hand side is a nice Eagle Scout project. Tony Begenwald's grandson, Robbie Westbrook, needed an Eagle Scout project, and we had a tree there. It was dedicated to a past Lady State Commander, and I said, well, we need to fix that up. So he went ahead and got a bench, put plants out. Of course, we paid for the materials, but they did all the labor and everything else, and he became an Eagle Scout. And to say it really has really dressed up that corner of the parking lot. And to say that would be a nice thing to come on down. And then you could also sit out there, not in these 95-degree days, but sit out there and just enjoy your drink and whatever. And as I say, it's just a very nice atmosphere that we have at the DAV here in Bowie.
Well, I'm glad you brought up about the scouting program. The VFW and the DAV both recognize Eagle Scouts for the boys and the Gold Award for the girls. So if you know of anyone who is achieving that rank, then we would certainly like to know about it simply by calling the DAV. We like to get involved in recognizing this high award. I think they said less than 1% of the boys who joined the Boy Scouts achieved the rank of Eagle Scout, which is basically a boy like me who got to second class, and I think that's 2 steps up from the beginning or something. But anyhow, it's one of our outreach programs to the community. Your parents don't have to be in the military at all. It's just a matter of recognizing these achievements by these young men and women to the highest rank in scouting. The other thing is, and Ray brought it up, was the service officer program. It's extremely important to find out about your benefits. Don't wait until it's either too late or you can forget about them. As soon as possible, get your VA number. If you don't have it, the service officers will help you even do that, because you need to get registered in the system so that when you're old and gray and you really need some of those benefits, it's easy to find. And those guys can help you with that right now.
And one thing I want to say is, we're into the cyberspace stage now, where you hear these nightmare stories that take 3, 4, 5 years. Well, that's not so anymore. Everything is done by paperless. They go ahead and either fax or send, or with the scanners, scan everything to the VA, and it gets there, and you don't have to worry about the snail mail or anything else. So like I said, if you hear any of these nightmare stories, forget about it. Come on down, get the straight scoop from our service officers. Again, Monday evening at the DAV here at 8205 Laurel Bowie Road from 7 to 9 every Monday evening. In fact, they're there right now.
The other thing, too, is the city with Mayor Robinson, who was in the Army, we won't hold that against him, though, has been very favorable to veterans. And the Memorial Day Parade, one of the VFW members, Luther Hawley, was the Grand Marshal of the parade, and Megan Bogley was the recognized veteran for the Memorial Day Parade. So the city, too, is very active in getting the word out about the military and the benefits that are available to you.
Also, the VFW is in charge of Veterans Day this year.
And that'll be on November the 11th at 11 o'clock at Veterans Park. We look forward to seeing everyone there. We also have within our community Bowie State, which has its own ROTC program, and they also have a veterans club, I would say, up there that support veterans. And also at our high school, we have Navy ROTC.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you haven't been to Veterans Park on Lanham Severn Road across from Ascension Catholic Church, a couple of years ago we dedicated a new statue for the Gulf War. It's the M16 rifle with the helmet and boots. And then a year ago we dedicated 2 benches, which is very nice to sit down at the park. So come on down, take a look at the Veterans Park. And as I say, our VFW posted a charge of Veterans Day, and then next year the American Legion will do a Memorial Day and Veterans Day. And we always have a luncheon after the service. So that's another thing that we serve the community with.
Now, the American Legion is on Laurel Bowie Road. It opens also at 12 o'clock and it is open until 10 or 11 at night. They have a lot of programs going on for veterans also. They have Boy State in the summer for boys. They have a softball program. And typically on the weekends, they have a DJ. They serve food. And sometimes they have special events where they will have additional food available, whether it's seafood or pork or sandwiches or something. But the VA is, the American Legion is extremely active within the community itself with their community outreach programs also. So it's another outlet for you as a veteran or a family member of a veteran. As Jerry said, we encourage family members to come and see what our organization is like because we're family oriented, we're community oriented, and we're veteran oriented.
I just want to say one thing real fast. If you're not affiliated with the military, the Marine Corps League has associate members. So if you want to join the Marine Corps League as an associate member, everybody's eligible for that program. All you do is come down to DAB, ask for me or Jerry, and we can take care of you.
Well, it's kind of hard to believe, but again, we'll wrap up another 30 minutes. Again, we need your support by just stopping by the DAV or the American Legion. Find out about the benefits that you or your family member have earned. And we'd enjoy talking to you about any of the benefits that you have coming to you. So once again, thank you for viewing Veterans Forum.